How would you work to bring more manufacturing jobs into Anniston? And would you work with surrounding communities, Oxford, Jacksonville, the County Commission, in order to bring in more of these manufacturing jobs? And Mayor Robinson, you get that question first.
You go into my wheelhouse. What we've done is we have established meetings with the EDC, Economic Development Council, the Chamber of Commerce, the Chamber. Every month we meet and discuss factory and industrial development. As far as the mayors go and surrounding cities, I've established a Mayors Association where we meet periodically and work out problems and work on solutions. That's been going on for the full 4 years. So I'm a big believer in working with our fellow cities, our fellow entities in the city, and also being a regionalist. It's very important for us to continue on this line of having meetings with all these players and establishing a front to bring industry into this country. Into this county and into the city. And the reason we haven't done it, we've been in the greatest recession ever. It's almost as deep as the Great Depression. There hadn't been any development much in the country, but we've gotten ourselves ready for it. We've created a CDA, we've created a PBA, so we're doing things, getting ready to develop this city once it breaks. But there just hasn't been that much development across the country like it has in the past 8 years where we were operating on false money. That should have been the time that Anniston really grew, when money was loose and easy to get. But this city, the city staff has gotten us ready for when the new stage starts on development. We're there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Ms. Welch. Specific question to you about industrial development bringing manufacturing jobs to the area.
Well, we do have opportunities for industrial development in Anniston. Obviously, McClellan, there's 600 acres now that are ready for that, and it will be marketed. We also have areas that I think don't need to be overlooked and that are very important, and that's our in-town industrial areas that need to be developed and reused. This would obviously help with the manufacturing jobs, I believe this question related to, as well as help with a lot of the areas that's been in despair in our downtown area. So I believe that we have tremendous opportunity for industrial development, not just manufacturing jobs, but research and in other industrial. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bradford, industrial development in cooperation with other area municipalities.
Economics. Bradford vision. Skills to build. Now, I'm not going to stand up here and tell you as a politician I'm going to bring in jobs. Can't do that. How many cities and politicians tell you, I'm going to bring in jobs? Look, in my opinion, to bring in jobs, you got to have skilled people. My intention. Listen. Bradford vision offers skills to build. Of course, education at the top. Experience, i.e. GED, high school diploma, and a degree. These people are needed for a new, Mike, you kept using the word there, industrial. Now we all know, and the president has been talking about it, and so has business people. A lot of companies are moving back to America. We have a whole generation, at least 3 generations of people, young people. I'm talking about young people. As I look over this audience, Most of us are retired and got what little bit we have, but I have to be concerned about the young people of Anniston because they are the future. These are the people that I'm talking about skills. Follow me right quick. With education, increased training which leads to a higher success rate in employment, recruitment of new companies into the area due to having a skilled labor force. High wages due to being skilled. If you have a skill, you can have high wages. Now, that's an example. Your plumbing go bad in your house. All right? Now, are you going to call a dentist, doctor, or are you going to call a plumber? Plumber. I guarantee you, on an average, that plumber has no more maybe a high school education, but he'll make $25, $30 an hour. Skilled labor is what this city needs. Skilled labor is what I was used that job. I've already met with Ms. Summers and the rest of them. I got to hurry up. But anyway, we've been working on this for a while. The State Employment Service with us, they realize in order to make Anniston move forward, we have to have skilled laborers, and that's where my intention would be. Vote for me, please.
Thank you, Mr. Bradford. Mr. Locklier, the same question. Manufacturing, industrial jobs, and how will you cooperate with surrounding communities?
First of all, I think that to bring manufacturers here, I work for a company called McLean out of Birmingham, and our office is here in Anniston, a regional controller over the Waterworks division, and we've had a lot of suppliers that may want to set up business in Anniston, but they don't want to set up business in Anniston because they have a bad perception of schools, they have a bad perception of safety. So I think bringing in manufacturers takes a little bit of combining some things. I think the first thing we have to do is work on creating revenues for the city. One of my plans is to take part of my first year's salary and let's build a ballpark downtown. And let's bring in some games every night from the Woodland, whatever that park is out there, I've got the name of it now. Bring some games in, play some games here tonight. We have a lot of great things like Noble Fest. Let's plan something like that for every weekend. Then we can take those things and we can go take those to businesses and we can market them, which will then in turn bring in revenues, which will in turn create jobs, which will give us money. Then we can turn around and invest that into our school system. And once we get our school system, we can show these businesses that Anniston is a growing, vibrant town, revenues are increasing, and they're going to want to come set up business here. I spent a lot of time in China trying to market products, so I visited 32 different cities when I lived in China. And I met a lot of people over there that want to come invest in the U.S. Now, I don't know whether they'll want to invest in Anniston or not, but anything from auto parts plants to all kind of different things. But we need to work with those type companies. We need to work with the state. But most of all, we need to get our city in a position that looks attractive to business. Another quick thing, if Oxford or anybody else has good ideas, we need to also tag in on that also.
Thank you, Mr. Locklier. Mr. James.
Let me share a few facts with you. There are approximately 30,000 industrial boards in the United States of America. Every time a factory decides to move to a location, they get a proposal from between 25 and 30 people. That market is very, very competitive. Also, in today's climate, it's very hard for them to find financing to make their moves because of the uncertain climate that they're operating in. Now, in full disclosure, I'm a little bit biased in the remarks I'm fixing to make because I served on the Port McClellan Redevelopment Authority, served on the other two previous to that, and I see some of my fellow members here tonight, Julia Seeger and Willie Duncan. So they've heard this sermon before, so if they want to go get a drink of water, they can. Since 1999, I've been beating the proposal to put retirement homes at Fort McClellan. 3.7 is what the positive rate to one industrial job is for a retiree. There's 130 million people living in America that we could, that's quite a pool that we could draw from. Before we lost 40% of our income, when they came to your town, they brought $300,000 with them and put it in the bank. These are national averages. They have approximately $60,000 a year disposable income. If we put 1,000 retirement homes at McClellan, it would dump between over $250 and $500 million into our local economy. What a tax base. Look on my wall card and you'll see the scenario that I have painted by doing that single thing. It is time that we stepped out and started taking care of ourselves. Also, if we bring an industrial recruit in here, they want us to give them the land, the site that they're going to build on. They want us to provide infrastructure for them. They want us to give them tax abatements. A retiree, all they want is a low-cost housing, good environment, and we've got all of that. And the great assets that I mentioned earlier, this is just one of them. Thank you.
Thank you. And now Mr. Stewart.
Mike's got a very good idea as far as the retirement community at McClellan. I think it's a natural fit for us, and I applaud him for that wisdom. And Brant's got a great idea as far as making us more attractive. The EDC right now, the Economic Development Council, that's a recruiting arm of the Chamber for Industries. They're working with 16 prospects. Certainly we need to partner with our neighbors, our communities, Oxford, Jacksonville, and on and on. But we've got to make Anniston more attractive. That goes back to my three key focus areas. Strong schools, safe streets, steady jobs. We've got to get our house in order before they will come look at us, okay? Very important. That would be my first thing right away, is we would start concentrating on those three focus areas. We need more jobs. We need to grow our tax base. There are 3 entities in Alabama that are very, very instrumental in industry coming to a locale. Alabama Development Office, Economic Partnership of Alabama, and Alabama Power Company. I promise you they will know me by my first name within 30 days of being your mayor. I will be there. I will be the chief salesperson for Anniston. We want to partner with our neighbors, but we also must get our message out to these entities that Anniston is open for business. We've got to make it easy and enjoyable to do business in Anniston. We've got to cut through the red tape. You don't need to visit 5 departments to open a business in Anniston. It needs to be a one-stop shop. Thank you.
Mr. Ray, same question to you concerning industrial development in Anniston.
First of all, we don't want to forget the foundation of this city, which is downtown Anniston. Fort McClellan is fine, but we've got to help the people downtown. Everybody's going other places. Now, we have over 1 million people coming here with that race down in Talladega. We should be getting some of that revenue. We don't even have a large beside motel on the lighting. You pick up revenue in places like that. Now, as far as I'm concerned, and what I want to do, I'm outside, I'm not inside. So I can't promise you anything. But what I would like to do, I would like to see Anniston downtown grow back when I was a kid, look like it was when I was a kid. That's where I used to shop, Santa Claus and everything else, downtown. And I don't want to forget about our constituency that got businesses downtown. We want to keep them in business as well. Fort McClellan is nice, plenty of property out there. But I never figured out what's going on out there. I'm still trying to figure that out. I promise you this, if I'm elected your mayor, this city will grow, and we all will grow together. Thank you.
Thank you. And now Mr. Norton.
A politician will tell you what he thinks you want to hear. A statesman will tell you the truth. I have made it known that I intend to be mayor of this city for 8 years. Reason one is, frankly, we are 2 or 3 years away from industrial development. And anybody that tells you different doesn't know what they're talking about. We've got to build infrastructure. That will take 2 or 3 years at a minimum. But the beauty is we're having a convolution of many grand things coming together at the right time. First, deal with retail. Then deal with revenue. Then get waterworks and sewer board, building infrastructure, and then you are ready to compete in the competitive world of economic development big time. I sat under a tree with Chip Howell and we bought the Charlie Baker Trailer Park. Paid a little bit more money than it would have to be paid for by now, but we didn't let it get away. We're going to deal with the school board. We're going to get the middle school property. There is your strip mall for your retail. And you work downtown. I brought in an expert when I was on the council from 2000 to 2004. There is a way to develop downtown, and some of the greatest people I've ever known in my life refuse to sell, remodel, or lease. J.E. Ingram, greatest man in the world. He sits there and enjoys his grocery store. He walks in it and he looks around. Hyman Gordon, not a better man on the face of the earth. When I served as Spirit of Anniston director, I begged these people to do something with their property. They said, no, there's a way to get it done legally. I know how to do it. Delay your industrial development, develop your retail, and then develop your infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Norton. Ms. Goodman, the question goes to you about industrial development and bringing in manufacturing jobs.
To answer that question, I would have to rely a lot on what I've learned as a student and while attending Talladega College. We have to look at the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. And also I will glean also and look back on what I've learned the last 7 years while attending the city council meeting, the do's and the don'ts, and to work with the people, the community as a whole. Also, I would have to reach out, do research and network other communities to bring in for them to build a relationship with them to see what are they doing to bring progress forward in them. That's what I would do.
Thank you. And now, Mr. Salmon, the question goes to you about industrial development and cooperating with other communities to bring manufacturing jobs in.
I would like to address the downtown question, and I hope I have that opportunity. But since the question at hand is about industrial development, I'm going to tell you what I was told when I was appointed to the Fort McClellan Development Commission. I was appointed by Congressman Glenn Browder. I was reappointed by Congressman Bob Ryder, so I had Democrats and Republicans input on this. One thing they told me that was exactly the same: nothing happens in industrial development in the state of Alabama unless it goes through the Alabama Development Office, period. Now, what we've got to do is strengthen what I think is already a pretty good liaison there. I think the EDC is on the right track. If there's something the city can do to help facilitate a better relationship with ADO, then I think we should do it. As far as cooperating with other cities, I don't know whether there's going to be a change to the south of us or not on the 28th, but I think if there is a change, I think there'll be more openness, because I think that's just the personality of the person who might be the next mayor. If the current mayor is re-elected, I will say this: he and I have been friends for nearly 40 years, and there will be a cooperation that these two cities have not had in a long time. Thank you.